With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. Swift Motorsports, AYERS iRacingPaints, Arca Menards Series heads off to the flat 1 mile track right here, New Hampshire MotorSpeedway for the Lobster 130. That's right, race number 9 getting ready to get kicked off here tonight. Happy hour already in the books. Jason Branch did lead your happy hour timing charts with a 30.88 for the quick time in happy hour. We'll have to wait to see if that translates directly over for that 22 into a fast qualifying time. Drivers already out there on the track, already putting in some time lapse. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Darkside Dave in the cave bringing you all the calls on your home for everything Swift right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And looks like, excuse me, as these drivers do turn in these laps, we'll go ahead and throw some of that qualifying information up for you. Over there to the left-hand side of your screen, there you can see already halfway through tonight's 5-minute qualifying session, and drivers already locking out those top 10 spots. Just Larry Poling, as well as Roy Fernandez, Gary Wells, Donald Bennett, and Casey Duncan left to go out on track for their time lap. We have right at about the 20 drivers here tonight for the Lobster 130 here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. Drivers, truck drivers, gonna hit this track tomorrow night, so keep your eyes peeled for that right here, same time, same place on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As always, thank you for joining us here tonight, whether you're just stopping in for just a brief moment or you are the dedicated fan, friend, or family to one of these drivers getting ready to hit the tracks here tonight. And with just about 4 minutes remaining, it looks like we've pretty much got everybody turning in their time lap that looks like is going to go out there on a qualifying attempt. So we'll recheck in on the weather report here real fast before we head down trackside for your national anthem here right before we kick things off in the Lobster 130 here at New Hampshire MotorSpeedway in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. There you can see your track temperature right around 88 degrees. Not too bad of a track temperature here for New Hampshire MotorSpeedway. Driver's going to be on the brakes pretty hot and heavy into turn 1, into turn 3. Look for them to try to get the launch off of 2 and 4. That's where you're going to see the cars beginning to break loose. You're going to see them wanting to maybe over-rotate, if you will, on corner entry braking. So we'll have to wait to see how all that kind of shakes out as the track heats up. With all that being said, looks like we're ready to head back trackside for your national anthem. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, their bombs bursting in air, gave
Drivers making their final way through tech inspection here before the pre-race inspection. Last one for these drivers to go through, and it looks like Jason Branch will walk away with the pole here tonight. Before that, though, let's get to some official business. Coming into tonight's race number 9 in this 15-race season. Just one more race in the regular season before these drivers kick off their championship hopes. Jason Branch right now with the top spot in the points. Todd McGregor, Andy Starcher, Larry Poling, and Jim Thorndike right there, all still within striking distance. Drivers sitting outside of that top 5. It's going to take quite a bit for them to get up there and try to battle for that the top spot in the regular season championship. Doesn't mean they are on the outside looking in at the overall drivers championship at the end of the year. So drivers getting ready to crank it up just a little bit as we get closer and closer to the season end. And with that being said, let's get a little closer to the action. Head down trackside just a little bit closer. And you can hear that sound in the background. You know what time it is. It's time to run down tonight's starting lineup for the Lobster 130 here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Walking away with the pole position driver inside row number 1, the 22 of Jason Branch. Driver just to his outside, last week's race winner, Joshua Kanata, got his 16 right back at the front of the field. Once again, look for him to be very quick as drivers begin to roll off. We're ready to go, racing race fans. Row number 3, John McMillan Jr. in the 15. He's visited victory lane 2 times this season. Kevin Burrows sitting just to his outside inside row number 4 here tonight. The 6 of Ryan Branchew, followed by the 75 of John McMillan Sr. Marshall Scully and Chad Lancaster gonna make up row number 5 and round out your top 10 inside row number 6. The 2 of Shane Bliss, followed by Ron Schutte in that 28 machine. Just back behind them, just a handful of more drivers. Todd McGregor, Donald Bennett in the 31 gonna line up in that 14th spot. Greg Deitch, Andy Starcher make up row number 8. Row number 9, the 3 of Roy Fernandez, Gary Wells, Casey Duncan, Larry Poling, all at the track here tonight, all ready to fire things off for the first time. Pace car down and away, and green flag flies once again here in Swift Motorsports on turn 3 Racing Network. Down into turn 1, Jason Branch has been fast all night long. Happy hour qualifying, now leading the race out of turn number 2 on the first lap. Can he complete this first time lap with it in his back pocket? Go ahead and seal the deal, put another point in his back pocket here and try to separate himself just a little bit more over the rest of the drivers heading into Indianapolis Motor Speedway next week, the final week in the regular season. Branch with, I believe, just about an 8-point, and exactly that, yes, 8-point advantage over Todd McGregor. Andy Starcher back 20 points, 32 points back is Larry Poling. So those drivers going to have to make up a bit of ground here tonight if they're going to want a shot at the regular season championship next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Your top 3 have stepped away from the rest of the field, but really it's just a battle right there for those top 2 spots. Jason Branch has Joshua Kanata all over him. Quick time on the racetrack last time by. That goes to your race leader, familiar man on that speed chart, with a 31:20 for Branch. But Kanata not going away, still fighting hard right there. We'll go back just outside of your top 10. We've got 4 cars all packed up with each other right here. That's Marshall Scully, John McMillan Sr., Chad Lancaster, Ron Schutte right there in the 28 machine. Shane Bliss, Todd McGregor on the outside of your top 10. Looking in, Todd running back in the 13th position. Shane Bliss having some trouble. He's going to go way up the track. Bliss giving a little bit of ground up. Todd McGregor going to take that 12th spot away, and here comes Starcher looking to the bottom, down into turn 3. That's going to open the door for the 31 of Donald Bennett. Bennett going to try to follow suit, follow through on the door that's opened up now on the inside. Marshall Scully with a little bit of a battle going on right here. John McMillan Sr. looks to the inside. That's going to go away just for a brief moment. The senior going to look to hunt back down that 63, and a man familiar to making moves, making up some ground here tonight, Ryan Branchew. There you can see him in that familiar orange and black paint scheme, running right now in just outside the top 5, running in the 6th position, and he's looking for more, but he's got a 2-time winner on his rear bumper. John McMillan Jr. looks for the spot. Jr. going to take 6th spot away. Branchew going to now fall back into the clutches of the 63. Way up the hill that time by was the 21. Big time trouble there before Cullen Hudson. Colin having a little bit of trouble there getting through turns 1 and 2 last time by. That put 3-4 drivers all up on his tail end. We'll have to see how long it takes for... Whoa, big moment there again for Hudson off of turn 4, way out next to that outside wall. Looks like he's scraping it into the corner. Absolutely was. That's going to give the 3 wide. That's going to get close on exit. Whew. Tough racing, hard racing here already on lap number 7 out of the 130 scheduled in tonight's official race distance in the Lobster 130. Brought to you by AYERS iRacingPaints, Arca Menards series here in the Swift MotorSports on turn 3 racing network. Back to the inside. You can see Branchew still has that nose to the inside of the 21. He's going to go way up the track once again. Try to get the run off the corner, but Branchew's going to have that spot with no trouble. And I said no trouble, but battling back now by the time they get to turn 3 on that outside, making it work, getting the run down to turn 3. Can he keep it rolling through the center? 2-3 wide at times here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Bet you didn't think we'd say that tonight. 3 wide at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Back behind these drivers, you can see drivers beginning to stack up just a little bit. Ron Schutte has Todd McGregor, Andy Starcher in the 19, right there in that familiar Monster Energy Chevy. I believe he's running the older Camaro scheme. Yes, he is. That absolutely is. And then a little bit of a ways back from Starcher, you can find Shane Bliss battling with Donald Bennett. That is about 2 seconds back from this pack. These drivers are not the last drivers on the lead lap. You still have Larry Poling as well as Greg Deitch out there on the track. Big shout out to all the drivers up there in race control, keeping everything straight on the track here tonight. Big shout out to Gary Wells, Roy Fernandez, as well as Casey Duncan, making sure everything on the track stays smooth. Big shout out to you and all you guys are going to do for us all night long up there in race control. Back up front, though, battle for a spot inside the top 10 now. Looking to the inside, you can see Ron Schutte trying to take that spot away from Lancaster. Lancaster stuck on the high side. That preferred lane is always going to be that inside lane. It's a little bit harder to get it rolling through the center. You're able to slide up the track just a little bit sometimes when you don't have that driver to your outside and really get it to roll through the center. There you can see the drivers behind this side-by-side battle able to make up a ton of ground through the center. Starcher all over the tail end of McGregor now. Not going to double it up 2 rows deep here going into turn 1. Starcher backed out just a little bit and still holding strong on that outside lane. Lancaster not giving up. He's going to hard charge down the back stretch, and he's actually going to take that spot back from a Schutte by the time they get to turn number 3. They're beginning to hound down John McMillan Sr. sitting right there in that 75, running just inside your top 10 in the 9th spot. A 3-car battle just in front of them. Ryan Branchew has got Cullen Hudson and Marshall Scully lined up with them. Not much to say really up front about your race leaders and what's going on up there. We'll go ahead and throw up some of that timing and scoring for you. Some of that, the gaps, intervals being shown for you right there on the top of your screen. Rolling with the ticker. Branch has about a 2/10 of a second race advantage, and he has had pretty much that the entire time. 7/10 of a second now separates Kanata from your third place runner, Jim Thorndike. Kevin Burrows right there in the fourth spot, and rounding out your top 5 early here tonight. There you can see him just off in the distance in front of Ryan Branchew. There you see him making his way halfway down the backstretch. Man on screen right now, 2-time race winner this season. Looking for yet another, the 15 of John McMillan Jr. running strong here tonight, being able to stay right where he started, running in that 5th position, so not really moving forward, but most importantly, not falling back in the early goings. Drivers do have quite a long time to make up from any mishaps or mistakes, but you never want to put yourself behind the 8 ball where you have to drive like that for a race that's over 100 laps long. These drivers still have to turn in 115 laps here tonight, so still a very long way to go. And New Hampshire Motor Speedway has been known to get those very long green flag runs, so look for these drivers to start eyeballing pit road. And I know what you're saying, Dave. Eyeballing pit road on lap 16? Well, at a short track like this, a lot of ground can be made up with new tires. These drivers have 4 sets of tires here tonight for the Lobster 130. No stage brakes. So it's all about the strategy, and could a driver pull a short pit? Looking at the fuel window, being able to calculate it all, looks like drivers are going to have at least 3 stops here tonight, 3 full tanks of gas in order to make it to the end. So will a driver try to do a little funny business? I mean, it's getting late in the season. Some of these guys have got to roll the dice if they're going to try to walk away with some extra bonus points for being the regular season champion when we get set to roll off into the chase here in about 3 weeks. Next week, we'll head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the final race of the regular season. Then we'll take a week off, then fire things off once again as the drivers begin to chase down their hopes and dreams in the championship run here. That's going to all kick off at Homestead Miami Speedway for the Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series drivers. And there you see, still hounding your race leader at the front of this field. Jason Branch has not been able to get away from Joshua Kanata. Kanata all over him, and we've seen Kanata be very strong last week, not just because he walked away with the race win, but he was very quick all race long, and he continues that pace. He continues that trend here tonight at a much different track here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And New Hampshire and Indianapolis, somewhat similar. Very flat corners at Indianapolis, the same as here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Not quite as sweeping at Indianapolis as it is here. But still, drivers may be able to feel out a little bit of their braking, start trail braking a little bit, if that makes sense. Start under braking a little bit into these corners. Get the feel for how much you can be on and off of these brakes before you really start to have some trouble. Very well may translate into a 10th or 2 when you get to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But right now, still hounding your race leader drivers, sitting in that 2nd spot. Last week's race winner Joshua Kanata still trying to snatch the race lead away from Jason Branch, who has been fast ever since they unloaded that Serve Pro Chevy Impala. Has been lightning quick. 30:88 in happy hour, 30:77 in qualifying. And here in race trim, he has set a 31:15. That has been the fastest time on the speedway here under race conditions. So just all night long here, Branch already showing out. Running into some back markers here. Looked like he was going to try to have the pick made right there. Branch not able to keep that 16 slotted behind Larry Poling, who is now being scored the first driver 1 lap down. Scratch that. John McMillan Sr. going to bring his 75 machine down pit road. Larry Poling now Greg Deitch in that Pepsi number 1 Chevy Impala. He's going to fall now back down 1 lap. So that's going to leave us already with just 14 drivers left on the lead lap. We've got to wait to see if anything happened there with Senior, because it looks like he is on pit road for quite a time. Not seeing anything on the timing and scoring to indicate anything really happening there with John McMillan Sr., but it does indeed look like he is on pit road fixing that machine, hammering some damage out. So the 75 going to fall multiple laps down here very early in tonight's race, just 25 laps now on the board out of the 130 scheduled in tonight's official race distance for the Lobster 130. Jason Branch continues to step away from the field. He'll keep Joshua Kanata tucked in with him, bringing him right along. So your top 2 now out to a 1.7 second race advantage over these 2 drivers that have been battling for that 3rd spot. Now asserting a little bit of dominance is that GTR Simulator 59 Jim Thorndike. He's going to go ahead and start to scoot away just a little bit from the man running back there in 4th. There you can see him just in the outside of your screen. The 23 of Kevin Burrows running strong here tonight, up 2 spots from where he started tonight's race, now running in the 4th position, back in 5th. There you can see the 15 of John McMillan Jr. He's been slowly but surely clicking off the laps here, getting closer and closer to that race lead. As a matter of fact, last time by, he was only about a 10th off of your race leader's time, in the 3rd fastest on the track. So John McMillan Jr. finding some speed late in the going, late on these tires. Gonna jump around once again, jump back here. 3 cars all stacked up with each other. There you can see that 63 of Marshall Scully. He's got Todd McGregor right behind him, and he is still trying to hound down that 21 of Colin Hudson. Hudson running strong in that 7th position, and Deitch, you can see him, that 4th car in line, but he is actually being scored off of the lead lap. So a tough break, and hard into the outside wall. Deitch gets stuck on that outside wall, and there you can see heavy damage on the right side of that Pepsi 1 machine, as it looks like we do have more drivers braking for pit road. We'll jump back up here. Looked like we did have a driver going to pit road, but just some evasive maneuvers there by that 63. I believe that's who it was, who had a big wiggle and dropped to the bottom. Marshall Scully getting out of the way, man. He was not liking what he was feeling, what he was seeing right there, so he's going to go ahead and jump right on out of the way, and I do believe that is the 9 going a lap down as well to these drivers that are running right here, right around that 9th, 10th position on the track. No real battles to speak of. Your top 2 still right there. Within striking distance is Kanata. We'll jump back here with them as they make their way off of turn number 2, back down the backstretch on lap number 30. Still clean and green since the drop of the flag here tonight, and leading every single lap so far has been that 22 of Jason Branch. And this entire time, race fans, Joshua Kanata, he has been right there this entire time, all over that rear deck lid, just hounding him, keeping himself in the mirrors of Jason Branch, just hoping to force a little bit of a mistake. We'll jump back to what is now going to be a 3-car battle, because look at this. Kevin Burrows, he's way up the track. That's going to give the inside to John McMillan Jr. John Jr. now running in the 4th spot, and he's looking for a little bit more. Can he get up there and take that 3rd spot away from Jim Thorndike? Thorndike running strong here in the 3rd spot, up 1 position from where he started tonight's race, and it looks like your biggest mover of tonight's race. Andy Starcher, Todd McGregor, they're both tied with gaining 6 spots on the evening so far. So look for those drivers to move a little bit further up through the timing and scoring, as both of them very, very fast. And as we've worked ourselves under 100 laps to go, why don't we go ahead and give you some driver highlights, some spotlights out there tonight. There you can see Jason Branch piloting that 22 machine. Branch sitting in the top spot. Can the Virginia Beach native make it? One in the bag for him. We're going to look back here on the season winner so far. And Branch surprisingly not going to victory lane here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. But usually one of the faster drivers all season long. And that is pretty much how he has been able to lead the points coming into tonight's race. This king of consistency so far this season. And now driver running right behind him, newcomer, fresh face man on the scene, making a big splash in his debut last week with the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. Walking away with the race win. Can he make it 2 in a row? Looking to the inside, looking for the race lead. He's had enough of following. It's time for that 16 of Kanata to try to lead tonight's race. Not going to be able to keep the momentum up, and it looks like Branch going to power off the corner and back in front. We'll jump on board with this 16 of Kanata as he continues to try to take that race lead away. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so. So we'll jump back now with the driver running inside that 59 GTR simulator Chevy Impala. Jim Thorndike with a solid run here tonight, but he has got John McMillan Jr., man, right here, 4th on the track, looking for 3rd. All over him, not going to look to the inside just yet, and there the door opens, and there he goes. Pulls even through the center of 3 and 4. He's going to lay the power down. Tires going to stick. Pass complete by the time they get to the line. Put McMillan Jr. into the 3rd spot, and that's going to take us now as Kevin Burrows looks to the inside. Burrows looking to take the 4th spot away. Going to be a drag race down the backstretch between those two drivers. Burrows not able to get the power down off the corner exit, and he'll stay in the 5th position. Driver just on the outside looking in on that top 6, but a very big gap back to the Toledo, Ohio native, the 18-year-old Ryan Branch, you running strong out there tonight for 4X Racing, running right there solid in the 6th spot for the 6th team. Want to take a little brief look here at this 71 of Todd McGregor as he makes his way down the backstretch, running in the 7th position as leader crosses the line to begin lap number 39 out of the 130 scheduled in tonight's official race distance for Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. It's the Lobster 130 right here at New Hampshire Speedway. On to Ron Schutte right here running in that 8th spot. Don't worry about that 21. He is being scored off of the lead lap as we do have a few drivers making their way on and off pit road. Marshall Scully is one of those drivers that has been to pit road as well. We'll take a look back now at the 19 of Andy Starcher. There you can see that hyperdrive MotorSports 46-year-old out of Castaway, West Virginia. Trying to get up there, trying to grab a couple more points here tonight from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway, and now driver last in the top 10 right there. Big move so far, up 4 spots from where he started tonight's race. Keystone Motorsports' very own out of Kutztown, PA, Donald Bennett running in the last spot inside the top 10. Bennett was a little bit behind the field on the start, as took a little bit to get up there, but now the 31 rolling and heading in the right direction. The Turn 3 Racing Network Bromley Design Draft Top sponsored 31 machine looking pretty out there And I know I may be impartial, but just look at that beautiful orange. Just saying. We'll jump back up here now with your closest battle on the Speedway. Jim Thorndike, he's got the 23 of Kevin Burrows lined up just behind them. And we do have a few drivers, as I've said, race fans that have went to pit road. Looks like that was Cullen Hudson as well as Marshall Scully. Both of those drivers being scored off the lead lap, already on the pit road. Shane Bliss is the first driver being scored off the lead lap. The 2 machine has not been to pit road yet, so just a little bit off pace, and after 43 laps, he has fallen to the wayside and back behind your race leader. There you can see the 75 of John McMillan. I believe that's the 75. No, that is not. I think. Who is that? That is the 15 of John McMillan Jr. That's who that is, and that's who's coming to pit road. I thought it was Senior out there running just in front of Jim Thorndike, but that was actually John Jr. He's going to go ahead and be the first car inside the top 5, going to break away for pit road. So will we see a scramble at the front of the field now? Will we see those lead lap cars, those front pack cars, will we see them begin to come to pit road to try to cover the early pit stop here from John McMillan Jr., or will they stay out on track? Looks like most of the race leaders gonna stay out on track this time by. Continuing to watch the battle for the 3rd and 4th spot on the track, as this is your closest battle on the track. We do have a battle for the race lead. It's still right around that half of a second mark. There you can see it off to the left-hand side of your screen. Jason Branch continues to lead Joshua Kanata. Those two have stepped away like no other. A 6.3 second advantage for Kanata over this man right here on board with Jim Thorndike. As he makes his way back down the backstretch once again, these drivers all staying out still here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And I tell you what, we haven't visited this camera yet. Why don't we go upstairs with the Turn 3 drone cam here tonight from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Take a little bird's eye view. Look-see down at that GTR Simulator 59. Thorndike running very strong, running very well. Do want to talk once again about those biggest movers. Todd McGregor up 8 spots from where he started tonight's race, now running last inside the top 5. Andy Starcher up 9 spots as Kanata, he's going to bring his car to pit road this time by. Jason Branch going to stay out. He's going to have to do some Lewis Hamilton type hammer time down here to try to gain a little bit or minimize the gain there by Kanata with that slick move to come to pit road last time by. What will Branch do this time by? Nobody else going with Joshua Kanata down pit road last time, and here comes Branch. Looks like he's going to go ahead and stay out. Hard charging close on entry there with Greg Deitch. Jason Branch going to go ahead and bring it to pit road, so that will put the lead in the hands of this man right here at the front of the field, leading for the first time. New race leader here in the Lobster 130 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Jim Thorndike becomes the first driver to lead a lap that wasn't named Branch. And it sounds like Thorndike on the brakes. He's going to go ahead and come to pit road. Does seem like Kevin Burrows also going to come to pit road. So we'll jump back here with this 28 of Ron Schutte. Schutte yet to come to pit road. Looks like he's going ahead and staying out on the track one more time. Rest of the field behind him going to go ahead and come down pit road. Andy Starcher, Donald Bennett, Chad Lancaster all make their way down pit road that time by. And looking back at the timing and scoring, back through the speed charts. Joshua Kanata very well may end up with this race lead, and look at the big gap back to Jason Branch. Man, that is quite a gap. That is almost 4 seconds made up by Kanata during that green flag pit cycle. And trying to look at the time, trying to look at the timing and scoring here. Kanata about a half a second faster in his pit box, and about a second and a half faster on and off pit road than Jason Branch. So just all around beating Branch on and off pit road and pit crew down there for Kanata. Also just working the field over, giving him quite a bit of distance to play with, quite a bit of gap. And now you got to wonder, with a gap like this early in a green flag run, just how long or how much can that 16 kind of play with it and kind of save fuel here, play with the fuel mileage. Ron Schutte talking about playing with the fuel mileage. The 28 iHeartRadio sponsored machine still has yet to hit pit road, still out there on track, extending this run. Will he make it a one-stopper? It's going to be quite a bit of a stretch. He's going to have to make it about, 65 laps? So still another 13 laps before he can do that. That is going to be quite a feat to accomplish. But if he's able to do this, that's going to put him head and shoulders above the field. And no, not going to be able to extend it that far. He's going to go ahead and come down pit road, give up that top spot, because here comes Joshua Kanata right there off of turn 4, back across the stripe. He'll regain control of the race lead, this time by now just your third race leader. Fourth race leader. I apologize there. We had Jason Branch leading the entire time up until his pit stop. Then we had Todd McGregor. I do believe it was McGregor. No, not McGregor. Come on, Dave. Jim Thorndike was who led second. Third, we had oh man, tough break right there. Looking through the timing and scoring, looking at Jim Thorndike, he has fallen all the way outside of the top 10, all the way back to the 14th spot. But as I was saying, Ron Schutte staying out there, extending that run. He was your third race leader, and now your fourth race leader of the night, Joshua Kanata. And that's how quick it can all change. The drop of a dime here under green flag pit stops. You can go from leading the race now to back 5 seconds behind your competition. Jason Branch lost a ton that time through that green flag pit stop. And as we've gotten through the green flag pit stop and we knock on the door of the halfway point, if you haven't already, race fans, head on over, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Darkside, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by, whether you're just casually sliding on through or you are the dedicated fan, friend, or family. We appreciate each and every one of you, and you're the reason why we do what we do, and without you, there would be no us. So, as I've already said, throw these drivers a thumbs up, and once again, thanks for joining us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network, your home for Swift Motorsports. As your race leader, Joshua Kanata deals with some back markers, that's slowly allowing Jason Branch to click off a little bit of that gap, click off that distance on track, just ever so slightly, a little more and more. And although these two drivers only pitted within a lap of each other, Branch just seems to have a little bit more speed right now. You can see that gap already now down under 5 seconds and close to being the 4.5-second mark here. So Jason Branch definitely has some speed in that car and definitely moving towards the front. But what you gotta watch out if you're Joshua Kanata right here, running up on the tail end of the lead lap driver, running in that 9th position, the 31 of Donald Bennett. He's gonna fight hard to stay on the lead lap, and he's gonna fight hard to try to be that first driver 1 lap down. Looking at the timing and scoring, he's got about a 5-second. There you can see him making his way off of turn 2 halfway down the backstretch. That is the driver being scored in that lucky dog position, back 1 lap down. The 28 of Ron Schutte running in that 10th position, and that's what I was going to say, race fans, before I got into all that. Very quick race on our hands here tonight from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We have been clean and green since the drop of the green flag on the initial start here tonight. 17 drivers slotted in to tonight's starting lineup. We have still got 16 out there on the speedway with just 9 drivers left on the lead lap here tonight. Donald Bennett in the 31 being scored in that 9th spot, last driver on the lead lap, and he is doing all he can to try to stay up on that lead lap, just slightly slower than your race leader. And look at the man right behind him. That's Jim Thorndike. Thorndike being scored 2 laps down after a pit road incident. Those pesky pit road police, they will pop you every time. And here being a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Not being lenient. Yes, let's just go to that. Cracking the whip tonight on these boys. And it looks like Thorndike popped for speeding, and he's going to give up quite a bit of ground. And you seen him. He was running inside the top 5, now slotted all the way outside of your top 10. Running now in the 14th position. He's going to get 1 of his laps back, so there's a good thing. The bad thing is he's still got 1 more lap to try to get back somehow. He's going to need the help of a caution. I don't think he's going to be able to do so through another cycle of green flag pit stops. That's just asking a ton of your driver to try to make up 2 laps all on his own without any help. I'm not quite sure he's going to be able to do it, but if there's anybody that's going to try to do it, that's definitely going to be the driver inside that GTR simulator Chevy Impala. And there you can see, I believe that is Shane Bliss right there in that 2 machine. A little bit slow down the backstretch. The PPG machine not having a good go at it here tonight, running in that 15th position and running 3 laps down from the race leader. There you can see going around to the outside. That was the 21 of Colin Hutchinson. Hudson still on the lead lap, just about 2 seconds or so out in front of Donald Bennett, so he's got a little bit of a cushion, but the race leaders will be closing in soon. Back up to the battle for a spot inside the top 5. There you can see Kevin Burrows. He's looking to the inside of Ryan Branchew, trying to steal a spot away here. Lap number 66 underway now out of the 130 scheduled in tonight's official race distance, and we are officially past the halfway point. My goodness, things happening in a hurry here tonight. With all that being said, race fans, we're going to step away for a little brief commercial break, but we're going to keep all the action on screen. You won't miss any of the green flag running here with this battle on screen right now. Ryan Branchew and Kevin Burrows will continue to battle, and we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us with our Turn 3 side by side.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt kicker. The future is feeling.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Backtrack side after a brief commercial break, side by side, and hey, the ceiling looks good here in the cave, doesn't it? Here, black and red, all themed out, ready to go. That's right, Ryan Branchew continues to have that fourth spot. He's keeping Kevin Burrows just behind him, that 23. Not able to find his way around, not able to pick up that spot just yet, and still back behind the pit wall out of tonight's race. Still hammering away, though, on that AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series machine. John McMillan Sr. never say die attitude out of that 75 driver or his crew. Still down there trying to get things fixed up. Still trying to get back out on the track here tonight. And with that being said, race fans, why don't we go a little bit closer to the action? Drivers making their way right into your living room, heading into turn number one. Branchew still has that fourth spot, and Burrows wants a little bit more. This is your closest battle on track, one of the only battles for position on track, as we'll throw the timing and scoring up there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along just like we do here in the Turn 3 Racing Network booth. How you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land, race fans? Glad you could all join us here tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network for the Lobster 130 here in Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series race number 9. Now more than halfway in the books. We are well past the halfway point of the season. Just 6 races remaining before we will crown a champion, and just one more week left for these drivers to try to secure their spot in the championship chase and try to fulfill their hopes and dreams at hoisting the trophy as a season champion here in Swift MotorSports. We'll have to wait to see who's going to raise the trophy at the end of this thing. Next week, drivers head to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Then we will have a week layoff and then open up the chase at Homestead Miami Speedway. Gonna be a crazy start to the chase. And really some great tracks coming up in the chase as these drivers try to run down that championship. As we stay right here with the battle for the 4th and 5th spot on track, Ryan Branchew continues to have that 4th spot as they'll make their way around the back marker one more time. The one of Greg Deitch well off the pace, well behind the field now at this point in time. As we were saying, though, chase going to start at Homestead Miami Speedway, round 2 at Kansas. Then we'll head to Kentucky before we start to whittle the field on down, then head back across the south. The lady in black, Darlington Motor Speedway, gonna have one of the final says on who walks away with the championship trophy. We'll decide it all at Phoenix Raceway out there in the desert sun. So drivers got some good tracks coming up, some good side-by-side tracks for a lot of these drivers as we jump back on board with that 6 of Ryan Branchew still continuing to lead. Kevin Burrows for that 4th position. Burrows slotted back in the 5th spot. But looky here, race fans. We're going to go take a look at your race leader. Look at that gap to the left-hand side of your screen. After the first round of green flag pit stops back around lap number 47, Joshua Kanata was able to step out to, at one point in time, it was an 8-point-something second deficit. It shrunk fast down to the 5-second deficit, and then slowly but surely, you can see it now, just about that 3 seconds back is Jason Branch. So Branch is a little bit faster. He is on the move. He is in some dirty air. He is back behind a few of the back markers here, as Kanata is sitting a little bit more comfortably on the track, has some lap cars in front of him, but not really too far off in front of him. Is Donald Bennett. He's going to peel off the track, bring his machine down for some service, some fuel, and a run to the end. Can Bennett make it from here? That is still a pretty big ask. That is still upwards of 50 laps left to run here for that 31 of Donald Bennett. So maybe just seeing and feeling the tires going here, and Bennett's going to go ahead and come to pit road, be scored 1 lap down, and very well may fall a 2nd lap down here with his green flag pit stop, and indeed he's going to. So he'll join Jim Thorndike as being listed 2 laps down here tonight. Fast and frantic pace here tonight. Clean and green since the drop of the green flag. New race leader, well, he's not new to the front. He's been up here for quite some time. After that first round of green flag pit stops, Joshua Kanata now just 2.2 seconds in front of Jason Branch. So as I said a moment ago, Branch definitely clicking off that gap, and last time by, your race leader Joshua Kanata ran a 32.44. Branch back in second ran a 32.06. So that is almost 0.4 of a second faster that last lap, and it looks like Marshall Scully going to come to pit road. 16 coming to pit road quick, hard on the brakes. I don't know if he made it. Kanata locking him up, big time smoke crossing the line. Going to be interesting to see if he got it woed up enough, or will another driver fall victim to the pit road police. We'll keep an eye on Kanata as he makes his way down and into his box already. We'll see how long he is stationary. And it does look like Branch, he's going to come to pit road this time. He's not going to mess around. He's going to try to cover up Kanata because he was faster there in the late going. That's going to put the lead in the hands of the 15 of John McMillan Jr. So now we've got our 6th different race leader of the night for the first time here tonight. John McMillan Jr. sits at the top of the speed charts. He's right there behind that 19 of Andy Starcher. Starcher running back inside the top 10, running in that 8th position, but just hasn't really had the speed inside that Monster Energy machine here tonight. So a tough little go at it at the flat track here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series right here in Swift Motorsports on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. If you want to drive it, if you just want to wreck it, I promise you, it's a lot cheaper over here, and they've got just about anything you want, from the open wheels all the way to these heavy tin tops. They've also got those sports cars. They got Daytona prototypes. They've got any type of dirt car really you can think of, all the way from midgets to, that's right, big block modifieds, the wing sprints, non-winged as well. I mean, tons of great racing content here on the world's #1 racing simulator, iRacing.com. If you haven't already, head on over and check them out at iRacing.com. Continuing to watch your race leader, John McMillan Jr. When will he bring that 15 to pit road? He's, excuse me, he's going to go ahead and extend this run a little bit further than the rest of the drivers that he's been running around. But it does look like most of them staying out there with him. One of the drivers I'm curious to keep an eye on is that 31 of Donald Bennett. He was on to pit road back at lap 81, so almost 10 laps ago. How much time is he going to be able to make up here on John McMillan Jr.? And how much time is Jr. giving up to those top 2 drivers that have been very, very fast all night long? Can Kanata or Branch somehow find their way back up and around this man right here leading the field at the front, the 15 of John McMillan Jr.? And he's only got about a 17-second race advantage over Kanata. So as soon as he comes to pit road, that is out of here. It's going to be gone over with. Pit road delta seems to be somewhere right around the 42-second flat mark as the 15 going to break for pit road this time. Ryan Branchew as well as Ron Schutte already on the pit road. We'll jump back on board with the driver of that 23 machine. Kevin Burrows makes his way down into turn number 1. Nobody really around to try to battle for that spot. And Burrows does have quite a bit of an advantage right now. He does have 11 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to save enough fuel. He was last on to pit road back on lap 49, so that is going to be a ton to ask out of the fuel cell. A little bit slow there through the center, but he's going to stay out on the track. Andy Starcher down pit road. Trying to look at that gap between Jason Branch and Joshua Kanata. It's somewhere right around a 4.5 second mark there. So losing a little bit of ground yet again was Jason Branch on the pit road that time by. Looks like about a half a second faster in his box was Kanata, and that directly translated over on to the pit road delta, the full pit road delta, sitting about 1 second faster than Jason Branch. So Branch minimizing it this time, but still losing, as we said, 1 second on the track. Drivers fighting to get themselves back on the lead lap. Ryan Branchew goes to the bottom. He'll grab himself a lap back, and he will put himself back onto the lead lap, listed as the last driver on the lead lap, running in the 5th position as we are knocking on the door of 100 laps in the book here tonight. Your race leader last time by began lap number 95 out of the 130 scheduled in tonight's official race distance here for the Lobster 130 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. Burrows going to come to pit road this time by, and that indeed will put the field back in the hands of this man right here, making his way off of turn number 4. Once again, new race leader back to the front. Once again, Kanata looking to put a stranglehold on the most laps led here tonight. If he can lead about another 20 laps, he will sew that up. Nobody going to be able to take those points away. And how heartbreaking is it for you if you are that 22 of Jason Branch? You know you're doing all you can do out there and just slowly losing time, especially during the green flag pit stops. And Branch looks to try to close that distance back in. It was right about the 5-second mark after this round of green flag pit stops, and there you can see it already working its way somewhere right around the 3.6-second mark. So still with a long time to go here, still upwards of 30 laps, just under 40 to be exact. Looks like it's going to be 34, 33 laps now, this time by as your race leader Joshua Kanata is going to cross the line. So still quite a ways to go for these drivers. I do believe most of them will be able to make it on the fuel. Maybe a little bit close there for Kanata and Branch. That's going to be, let's see. Let's do the math here. They were both on the pit road back at lap number 85. So let's see. It's going to be about 45 laps on the fuel and tires for these drivers. We have seen a lot of the drivers be able to make those 45-plus lap runs. We have actually seen one driver make it to about 53, I believe, is what Ron Schutte was able to get out of the car the first time he came down pit road. So drivers can definitely get quite a bit out of the fuel cell here tonight. And as we've got just 31 laps now remaining for Joshua Kanata to go back-to-back race-winning performances late in the season here, making a big-time splash. Once again, man, being patient that entire first green flag run there, and then taking advantage of it right towards the end, took the lead away from Jason Branch, and then Branch reassumed the race lead once Kanata came down pit road for one lap, and then Branch down pit road. Kanata went back to the front and has not looked back ever since. We have had 6 different race leaders here tonight, have had about 10 different lead changes because this man right here has led a total of 3 different times here tonight. Jason Branch has led a total of 2 different times here tonight. So both of those drivers making up about half of your lead changes. The other ones just cycling through on green flag pit stops. Ron Schutte led a handful of laps, as well as Jim Thorndike in that 59 GTR simulator machine, who's fallen behind the 8 ball a little bit with a pit road penalty. He has been able to make up one of his laps, now sitting in the 11th spot just outside of the top 10, running one lap down as the 20 of Lancaster going to make his way by as Thorndike comes to pit road. Thorndike, not enough fuel. He's going to bring it back down to pit road one more time. Your top 6 now left on the lead lap as Kanata continues to put down some fast time, but Jason Branch, again, a 10th faster than your race leader. I tell you what, race fans, we're going to go ahead and pull the logo from the screen and go ahead and give you some of the information. Your battle box for you. You'll be able to see that timing and scoring, that race distance that we're talking about between those top 2 drivers, and you'll be able to see just what it is that they're doing out there. There you can see it right there. Lap times for Kanata. You can see a consistent little fall off each and every time. Lap 101, a little bit slower than 102, but then right back into those 31.8s for Joshua Kanata. And now we'll take a little look. Let's just compare these lap times here, race fans. There you see the last handful of laps by Kanata, and now we'll jump back, take a look at the separation here between these two drivers. Faster on lap 100, faster on lap 101. A little bit slower was Kanata on the past 3 laps. So slowly but surely, Jason Branch catching up, slowly making headway. That last time by race leader, 31.83. 31.75 for the man chasing him down right there on screen, the 22 of Jason Branch. He is trying all he can to get up there and snatch that race lead away. We'll have to wait and see if he's able to get to the rear bumper, and if he does, is he scared to use his front bumper with under 25 laps remaining here tonight in the Lobster 130 for Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. We are going to go to this battle right here on screen. This is a battle that is off of the lead lap, but still a battle nonetheless. Just off in front of that 31 of Donald Bennett. There you can see Marshall Scully sitting in that 7th position. Bennett and Scully both being scored off the lead lap, and that is a battle for the last car, for the first car off the lead lap. Battle for that lucky dog position, and what he's hoping right now, Bennett looking out of his windshield, hoping that Scully has a little bit of a moment, focusing on the lead lap car that is right there hounding him all over his rear deck lid, hoping that somehow that forces a little bit of a mistake and slows Scully up, is now side by side with the lead lap car. John McMillan Jr. sitting in the 3rd position. Bennett looking to try to capitalize, looking to try to close the gap, and just not being able to do so. Still stuck a few car lengths back behind Scully as he continues to try to drive up there and get that spot away, but Bennett not having too much luck at this point in time. We'll jump back up front with this man right here, though. He has been a very dominant driver here tonight inside that 16 Supercuts machine. Joshua Kanata looking to repeat with just 21 laps now remaining here from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway. House cleaning in order. 17 drivers took to the starting grid here tonight. We have still got 15 drivers out there on the track with just 6 left on the lead lap. Todd McGregor listed as the last driver on the lead lap, as Marshall Scully is sitting in that lucky dog position, just about 0.6 of a second in front of Donald Bennett. So both of those two drivers, as we showcased them a moment ago, battling for that lucky dog spot, but Bennett just not quite within striking distance to really try to take that away, and they're both gonna need a caution if they're gonna want to try to do anything with the race leaders. And I'm not sure that anybody has got anything for this 16 on a long run. We have seen Jason Branch be very quick at the start. If he gets a caution, if we get the opportunity to line things back up double file, I do think that 16 may have a little bit more trouble trying to fend him off, trying to hold off Branch. But but there again, we get doubled back up for a restart here this late in the going, and drivers are going to try to get everything they can, so it could end up making a calamity corner down there in turn number 1. We'll see if we get that late race pesky yellow flag, but as of now, we stay clean and green from the drop of the initial green flag here tonight from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway in the Lobster 130. You are watching Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. Tell you what, we do got another battle right here. There you can see Ron Schutte. He's starting to make some headway. He's looking for a spot. He's looking to take that 8th position away from Donald Bennett. He's going to go ahead and do so, and Bennett has lost quite a bit of time on Marshall Scully. As there you see Greg Deitch, he is bringing his machine back down pit road yet another time. This will be the 4th time on pit road for Deitch, so tough luck for that Pepsi number 1 piloted by Deitch, as he's going to fall well behind the field. There you can see him already 21 laps down, listed as the last car running on track that is still on the track. Colin Hudson as well as John McMillan Sr., both of those drivers having some early troubles, and both of those drivers listed off track and out of tonight's race, back in the 17th and 18th position. There you can see Jim Thorndike. He's making his way around another vehicle, but that is not a battle for a position. And Donald Bennett, not quite sure what has happened, but it is almost like he pulled a parachute. And speaking of pulling a parachute, look at right here, top of the speed charts. Last time by, your race leader, Joshua Kanata, ran a 32.40. Jason Branch with a 31.97, so much faster right here in the late going. Just 14 laps remaining. Ken Branch somehow get that Serve Pro Chevy Impala up there and battle for the race lead. Snatch the race lead. Snatch the race win. Potential race win away from this man right here. Driver on screen inside that 16 Supercuts Chevy Monte Carlo. I believe he is running that Monte Carlo scheme out there. Kanata, man, telling you, getting it done. Job well done here tonight. It's not over yet, but still a fantastic drive. And I tell you what, why not go on board, get a little look-see at your race leader. There you can see him sitting inside his 16 machine, Joshua Kanata, with a 3.6 second race advantage. Back down into the corner once again. Let's take a look back off the right side. There you can see one of those drivers down one lap. That is Todd McGregor sitting just behind him. I do believe that is McGregor. And man, Ron Schutte, he is on a tear right now. I tell you what, let's jump back outside the car. Schutte has gained a ton of time late in the going here. He has got about 6 lap fresher tires than the drivers that he is chasing down. And Schutte gonna look to put himself into the 7th position. And if drivers aren't very careful, they're gonna lose a little bit more. And although Ron Schutte is making some headway on the drivers in front of him, he is well back behind the 8 ball, well off of the lead lap, sitting back there in the 7th spot. He's got to get all the way up to Todd McGregor to try to fight for a lucky dog position, and McGregor has got about an 18-second race advantage over the drivers that can try to catch up to him. As there you can see Todd McGregor just behind your race leader, just now going 1 lap down. And it is very dangerous for these drivers at the front of this field, because Joshua Kanata is starting to work his way into some heavier, faster lap traffic. Kevin Burrows sitting last driver on the lead lap, running in that 5th spot, and he is 22 seconds behind your race leader. That's only about 10 seconds away from going a lap down. You can't quite see him off in the foreground, so luckily enough, not having any view of your race leader coming in the mirror just yet, as we are now down under the 10 laps remaining mark. And I believe that Branch may have ran the tires off, because that deficit, that gap is now beginning to grow. Kanata putting the gas down now, putting the pressure on the rest of the field, and he is not cracking. He is cracking the whip on him right now. Now 4.5 seconds is the gap. Kanata asserting his dominance late in tonight's Lops the 130 here from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series live right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. As always, it's your boy Darkside Dave in the cave with all the calls from the trackside. And if you haven't already, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself or anybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're just casually sliding through or you are the dedicated fan, friend, or family. We do appreciate each and every time you stop by. Without you, there would be no us, and you're why we do what we do. So thank you for doing what you do. And if you haven't already, throw these Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series drivers a thumbs up. Big accomplishment here tonight. We have went over 120 laps, all green flag here tonight from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway, as the flag man's got the high five for the race leader. 5 laps remaining for Joshua Kanata, and then he will be the third driver of the season to be able to go back-to-back race-winning weeks in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. And if he's not careful, he may throw it all out the window. Big time loose off of 2 that time. And as your race leader crosses the line with just 4 laps to go, we're going to run down to a little bit of a highlight of your top 5. And that is the only drivers on the lead lap. So why don't we go ahead and show you a little bit of that information. There you can see man at the front of this field sitting in that top spot, making his way into 3 and 4. Your race leader, Joshua Kanata. Back in second was closing, but now falling back just a little bit. Your regular season points leader coming into tonight's race, Jason Branch, the Virginia Beach native, just not going to be able to pull off the win here tonight, yet again falling short, but still another solid podium finish for that 22 driver in crew. So Branch continues his consistent run throughout the season. Back in the third spot, running strong again. Another podium finish here for John McMillan Jr. He is another one of those drivers. Since he has stepped on the scene, he has been something these drivers have got to deal with. Back in the fourth spot, there you can see a man on screen out of Swift MotorSports inside that 23. Kevin Burrows running in the fourth spot. That's going to lead us back to the 5th place runner of Todd McGregor, and McGregor running in that 5th spot, but being scored off of the lead lap. First car 1 lap down, and your race leader last time by. Popsicle sticks form. He's going to see the flag man grab that checkered flag and grab the white flag. Checkered flag here in just one moment. White flag out. Final lap. Joshua Kanata down into turn number 1 and out of 2 for the final time. He'll head back down the back stretch with nobody in front, nobody behind. Just 2 more corners to secure the second win in as many races. What a debut run here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series off of 4 for the final time. Checkered flag in the air and in the hand, your race winner, Joshua Kanata, able to get the job done. That is back-to-back race winning nights here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series for the driver inside of that 16 machine. Heck of a job by the Supercuts driver, Kanata, getting the job done. And I've said it about 5 times already, a heck of a way to start off your run with the Swift MotorSports here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards Series. And as you see Kanata make his way down the front stretch and get ready for his celebration, we're going to stick with it for just a brief moment. There you can see him whip that 16 around. Oh, not going to be too happy about that one at the shop, but still going to burn it down, celebrating his race win, the 16 with the smoke show. And with that being said, race fans, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
And back trackside after another great one in the books. Flag to flag, clean and green all night long here tonight from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway. Man, what a race tonight was the Lobster 130 here in the AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series, doing some great things, man. I tell you what, flag to flag anywhere is tough, but a short track, very, very tough to pull off. Let's see if we can't catch in a word with the driver that finished in that third and final podium spot here tonight. Let's see if we can't catch up with John McMillan Jr. It's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, Dave.
Hey, man, how you doing? How you feeling after another solid run?
I feel pretty good. It was a good race, that's for sure.
Yeah, as I said, green flag racing the entire time. How tough was it to make up track position? How was there anything you could do with the strategy, or was the fuel run just so long that it kind of took that fuel strategy and tire strategy out the window?
It kind of did. I found once after like 25 laps, 30 laps, everybody's tires kind of equaled out. I tried short pitting on the first pit, and I made up some time, but they stayed out an extra 8 laps, so those tires meant a lot, and they pulled back away from me.
Well, John, you've made quite a splash here in the later part of this regular season. Gonna look at the championship standings coming into tonight's race, and it doesn't look like you're in the top 10 just yet, but another solid run here tonight. And we've got one more before the end of the regular season for you to try to slot yourself in the points to make it into the chase. Looking forward to next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. What do you think you and the 15 crew have got to do to get yourselves into a chase spot?
Yeah, I feel like in that race there is just be consistent with the 4 corners. I just got to be consistent and finish the race, and I think I'll have a good shot at making the chase.
Well, my man, John, we surely hope you have another fine race. We surely hope we get to talk to you again. And we wish you the best moving forward. And hopefully you can get yourself into a chase spot and we can see you run for the championship in those 5 final races. But as I've already said, man, heck of a job out there on the track here tonight, walking away with another podium finish on the season. So before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on that 15?
Yeah, I just thank my family, my father. Thank all the guys that we raced with tonight. That was a great race. Green flag run, that was great. All the admins here at Swift do a pretty good job. And thanks to you, Dave, for broadcasting.
All right, my man, John. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you a little bit next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
That's good, Dave. See you then.
Well, there you have it. Final few words from the driver walking away in third place here tonight. That was John McMillan Jr. He's visited Victory Lane twice so far this season, but not able to get back to Victory Lane just yet. And he has been making quite a comeback up through the points late in the going. And speaking of the points, why don't we go ahead and bring in your points leader, driver that finished second here tonight in the field. Led in happy hour, led qualifying, led till that first round of green flag pit stops. Jason Branch, it's Dave in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Dave.
Hey, man, as you heard me saying there in the intro to the interview, led pretty much everything up until you re-emerged back on the track after that first green flag pit stop. What went on? Did anything go wrong on pit road? Did something happen? Because you ended up with about a 5-second deficit that you had to try to make up.
Yeah, I was just talking to Josh. He pit a lap before I did, so I was gonna run a couple more laps. When I saw him pit, I was like, well, I'm pitting next lap. Well, when I came around 3 and 4, there was a lap car that was pitting, and he was already on the apron in 3, and he rode 3 and 4. Well, I was entering pit road off 4. So I woed it down to come into pit road. Well, he drove all the way up to the barrels. I had to slam on the brakes and enter behind him. And by the time I got back out, I was 5 seconds behind him.
So lap cars coming into play there during the green flag pit stop. We noticed there you were able to kind of track them down there for a minute during that second green flag run. and you were able to do the same thing on that final green flag run of the race, but there towards the end, about the last 10 or so laps, it looked like you seemed to just fade away. Did you just burn the tires off trying to get up there and try to get back to a battling position?
That second stint, I was trying to tell myself, just hit your marks, race your race, hope for a caution. And I was noticing I was gaining on him a little bit. I said, okay, maybe I'm getting through lap traffic a little better. But after that last pit stop, I said, I got to go. I don't think it's gonna be a caution. So I was coming out of every corner with the back tires trying to come around. I was just overdriving the car, and with about 15 to go, the tires started to go, and I just started backing off and said, you know what, if I don't get a caution, I'm first loser again.
Well, I mean, you say that with like it's a disappointment, and I know not winning the race is definitely a disappointment for any race car driver, but you got to look at the consistency of the year. You're already pretty much slotted into the chase without a doubt on that one. You're going to increase your points lead. You were leading the points coming into tonight's race. Do you kind of shift your focus away from Indianapolis next week and maybe look towards Homestead to start off the chase on the right foot, on a better foot, maybe possibly breaking into victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, I like Indy. I'm pretty good at Indy. I like the short tracks better. I don't like the cookie cutter 1.5s. But Indy kind of drives like a road course, and I'm pretty decent there. So we'll see what's going. It's just frustrating. You said second's great, but I started off the season 3 seconds in a row, and then the last 3 races I've shot myself in the foot. I was leading by about 3 seconds and sped out of pit road on one of the races, and then the next one I was leading at Daytona and I sped entering. So I mean, I shot myself in the foot. I've had a chance to. I don't want to sound cocky, but I've had a chance to win every race, and it ends up being driver error or a lap traffic. I never do catch that final break I need to catch, but it'll happen. I think if I can finish second consistently in the chase, it'll be a good chase as long as Josh doesn't finish first every time.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, man, sometimes in racing it's better to have the luck than have the skill. You definitely got the skill. You just need a little bit of luck to fall your way, and I think we're going to end up seeing that sometime in these last 6 races that we have this season. So again, Jason, man, congratulations. Great race run yet again, finishing second here tonight from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway. So before we let you go, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on the side of that 22 or back at home in Virginia Beach?
Yeah, I want to thank Servpro, Dynamark, let me put their name on the car, Functional Fitness, 4X Racing, for letting me be on their team. I also want to dedicate this race to one of my close friends growing up. She had a battle with cancer, and I found out she passed away today. So I want to dedicate this race to her.
10-4, my man, racing with a heavy heart and almost getting the job done. I'm sure everybody's proud of everything you did out there on the track here tonight, and we look forward to catching up with you throughout the rest of the season, and let's see if we can't get one more in before Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you third next week.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what you can do.
Dave, thanks.
There you have it. A little bit down, a little dejected about being the bridesmaid once again, but as you heard him say, being consistent has paid off for him. Will Jason Branch finally be able to break in to a victory lane in the final race of the regular season, or will that have to be put off to the chase? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune in each and every week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And now that we've talked to our second place driver, let's see if we can't talk to the man himself. Back-to-back race winning weeks here in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacing Paints Arca Menards Series. Kanata, it's Dave in the booth again. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Man, I'm so glad to hear your voice right now.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, man, second time in 2 weeks, your first 2 races, you gotta feel good about that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I had no idea how this race was gonna go going into it. Man, Jason is quick. All these guys out here are so quick. I couldn't be happier. I don't really know what else to say.
Well, walk us through how you were able to snatch that lead away. You were right there battling with Jason pretty much that entire first green flag run. Then you came to pit road and boom, that's pretty much all she wrote. You kind of had it in the, I don't want to say you had it in the bag, but you had it in your hands from that moment on.
Yeah, I think what happened was I think he had some traffic on pit entry or something or pit exit. I'm not really sure. Because it definitely created a bigger gap than one lap would usually. So I think it just came down to staying out of traffic on the in and out laps, and I was able to get that gap and just sort of just make him use the tires, save my own. That gap definitely helped. I really think he was faster. I got to be honest with you, Dave.
Well, as I mentioned to Jason, sometimes it's better to have the luck than have the skill. You both have got the skill. Tonight, the luck went your way, and, well, you walked away with your second race win. You came into the season a little bit late. What do you think your odds are at getting into the chase? Do you think you can make it a three-peat next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I don't really think the chase is within reach. Just with how the points work, I'd have to look into it again. Even with a win next week, I would have to have a lot of other things go my way, and I definitely am not taking Indianapolis lightly. But I'm still going to give everything I have. I'm more looking to just get prepared for next season to make a run at it. I just think I think I entered just a little bit too late to really have a shot. So,
all right. Well, Joshua, it has been a pleasure to watch you over the past 2 weeks. Not just because you won, but you've had a fast car. You've got some great racecraft out there as well. So, big tip of the cap with everything that you've been able to do since you've stepped into the league. And we look forward to catching up with you, not just through the rest of this season, but through next season possibly as well. But before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, thank anybody on that 16?
I mean, first, I just want to thank you guys and everybody behind the scenes that put this show together. It's definitely a pretty high-quality thing. All the drivers, all the guys who run Swift, and especially the Arca series, it's all a great group of guys. Glad to be part of this, and glad to have everybody watching here on the awesome network you guys run. So, thank you guys for everything.
All right, my man. Well, as I already said, we'll look forward to catching up with you at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we'll see if you can't make it a three-peat.
We'll see. I'll see you next week.
All right, there you have it. Final words from the man walking away with back-to-back race-winning weeks in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. That was the 16 of Joshua Kanata getting the job done yet again here tonight. Man, what a fantastic race it was here tonight in round number 8 of the 15 race season here for Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. And do want to give a big shout out to all of the admins and officials up there in race control, sending some pizza over. I think they were bored making some prank calls. We didn't appreciate the anchovies on that, but you know, Gary, Roy, Duncan, it's been a pleasure working beside you guys all season long so far. We've only got 6 more to go. Sure, we're going to have some more fun up in race control as well as the broadcast booth over the next few weeks here in the Swift MotorSports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menards series. And, well, I mean, there's not much left after that one. I mean, they put on a fine display here tonight. Green flag race from the initial start all the way to the checkered flag. Not a single caution flag out there at all all night long, all 130 laps. Green flag completed here in the Lobster 130 for the Arca Menards series here, presented to you by AYERS, iRacingPaints, and Swift Motorsports. Oh, and you do hear that familiar sound in the background. That is the producers hitting the buttons. It's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results and walking away with the race win yet again. Back-to-back victory lane nights for Joshua Kanata. Jason Branch gonna walk away from the track. The bridesmaid, once again, the 22, gonna slot home in second. Rounding out your podium finishes here tonight will be that 15 of John McMillan Jr. Driver finishing in that fourth spot, the 23 of Kevin Burrows. Todd McGregor gonna round out your top 5. Marshall Scully slots his 63 in the 6th spot, while Ron Schutte able to come home in the 7th spot. Andy Starcher slots his 19 in the 8th spot. Donald Bennett finishes inside the top 10 right there in the 9th spot. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight in the Lobster 130 from New Hampshire MotorSpeedway and Swift Motorsports, AYERS, iRacingPaints, Arca Menards series. That will go to the 20 of Chad Lancaster. Jim Thorndike with some trouble on that first green flag pit stop. The 59 fell off the lead lap and finishes 2 laps down. I apologize. Thorndike gonna walk away in 11th. Ryan Branchew gonna finish 5 laps down in the 6th. Machine back in 12th. 13th place goes to Larry Poling. Shane Bliss gonna walk away in 14th. 15th place goes to Greg Deitchwa. Cullen Hudson gonna finish tonight in the 16th spot. John McMillan Sr. gonna round out the field here tonight in 17th. And there you can see those 3 great guys over there in race control. Roy Fernandez, Gary Wells, and Casey Duncan. Big tip of the cap for all you guys have done for us all season long, as well as tonight. We look forward to working with you over the next 6 or 7 weeks or so until we get to the end of this season here in the Swift Motorsports AYERS iRacingPaints Arca Menard series, and yet another fine one in the bag. If you haven't already, race fans, throw these drivers a thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell over there on the right hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Darkside Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. Without you, there would be no us, and you allow us to do what we do, so we do appreciate each and every one of you. And as we've already said, toss these drivers a thumbs up. Stay safe, stay loved. Until next time, my friends, we'll meet you in Turn 3.